Welcome to Trials of Characters, the courtroom where fiction finally face justice here. I take characters. Where from cartoons, movies, and pop culture, and put them in a full fictional trial. These, and also you already know who I'm actually doing. There's the trial and the verdicts. I'm actually your judge, narrator, and executioner. And these are canon, and these are Glen Quagmire. You know Glen Quagmire's thing. I'm William Prouty, aka Nexus. I'm actually doing Glen Quagmire and why he actually did his courses over his year, and but the final verdict will be determined in your episode, but the canon-based opinions include a prison sentence, death sentence, character-specific punishment, like permanent celibacy, being forced into sensitivity, being monitored by Joe, banned from all public. Now let's begin. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today we presented the case of Glen Quagmire, a man whose actions have been trained. If you're wondering who is the prosecutor, Marsha Holloway, who been accused of ignoring or laugh off and go far too long behind the jokes and catchphrases, lies a pattern of misconduct that would land any real person behind bars for life. We will show you evidence of harassment, lawful residence, aviation violation, and a long history of predatory behavior. We will present witnesses who have lived in fear, friends who have been assaulted, and colleagues who have seen him abuse authority. By the end, the trial, you will see Glen Quagmire is not a harmless comic, a character, but a driven danger to everyone around him. Justice, even fictional justice, demand a accountability. Leonard Biggs, member of the jury. Let's not forget the universe where in Quahog is a world where chicken fight, grown men for decades were babies, build time machines, and where the law of physics take weekends off. My client, Glen Quagmire, is a product of satire, a comedian exaggeration. His actions, while questionable, or frame a joke as jokes are cutaways and non-canon gags. And the prosecution want you to treat the cartoon antics like real crimes. We ask you to remember this is fiction. And in fiction context matters, you will see that Quagmire is guilty of being inappropriate, but not being a criminal mastermind. Witnesses. Honestly, the witnesses, Peter Roll as his friend. Peter, the prosecutor asks him, Mr. Griffin, what's your relation with Glenn? Well, he's my buddy, but also the guy I least trust him around anyone. Has he ever acted appropriate toward your family? Oh yeah, he hit on Lois more times than I eat chicken wings, and that say, has he ever committed acts that you consider criminal? One time he locked a woman's house in a house. Another time he had a whole room full of cameras. And don't get me started on the trunk incident. Would you say you fear that your family safety around him? Fear for everyone's safety around him. Honestly, the defense asked, is it true that you yourself was committed numerous questionable acts? Huh? Define questionary. Have you ever fought a giant chicken for 20 minutes straight? That's unrelated. Have you driven a car into a parade for? I was distracted. Have you ever blown up at your own house? Okay, but that was only like 3 times. So would you say Quahog is a place where extreme behavior is normal? Yeah, I guess so. No further question. Brian, can you describe your intercation with Mr. Quagmire? He hates me like a passionately, and he punched me, assault me, and once ran me over. Do you believe he is dangerous? Absolutely. Acts on impulse, and he never takes responsibility. Has he ever shown remorse? Only way it benefits him. Right. Is it true that you also act immoral on the occasion? I mean, I made mistakes. Mistakes that you dated a married woman. That was implication complicated. Or write a self-help book you did believe in. Okay, that's a one fair. Or abandon your own son. Objection, I mean, yeah, okay. So you hardly a moral authority. I never said I was. No further question. Now Joe Swanson. Officer Swanson, how many times you arrested Glen Quagmire? More than I can count. And I can count pretty high. What type of crime? Public decency, harassment, trespassing, flying under the influence, and list goes on. In your profession, opinion, is he a danger to the public? Absolutely. If he weren't a cartoon character, he'd be serving life. Officer Swanson, is it true you've also failed to arrest Peter for dozens of times? Here's slippery one. And that Quahog's legal system is constant at the best. I'll give you that. So would you say Quagmire's actions are part of a bigger pattern of exaggerated cartoon violence? It doesn't make it right, but yeah. No further questions. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you've heard the testimonies. You seen the power of Glen Quagmire. Is not a one-time offender, nor a misunderstanding. Stood. A man he is repeated danger to his community. A walking disaster whose actions have harmed his friends, neighbors, and strangers alike. The defense want you to believe that this is just a cartoon logic, but even in a cartoon world, there are lines, and Quagmire cross every single one of them. He has harassed, stalked, assaulted, endangered, passive, and as a pilot, and repeatedly violated the safety of those around him. The evidence is overwhelming. The witnesses are constant, and the defendant are shown no remorse. Today, you will decide that Quagmire remains a place where he can continue unchecked, or wherever justice finally catch up to him. We ask you to return a very guilty all major, and also Biggs actually do it. The prosecutor say hers. Members of the jury? Yes, my client is inappropriate. Yes, he pushes boundaries. But the prosecution wants you to treat satire like reality. Quagmire exists in a world where laws of physics bend where characters survive explosions, where cutaways are alternate universes. Many of the charges rely on exaggerated gags, not canon jokes, or comedic overstatements. Is he guilty of being crude? Absolutely. Is he guilty of being a criminal mastermind and deserve life in prison or worse? Absolutely not. We ask you to separate the comedy from the crime and return the verdict that reflect the comes. The foreman. Okay, they deliver. The foreman let's break down. We got 10 major charges. Some are cutaway gags, some are canon, but the pattern isn't the one. The aviation violation alone could kill hundreds, and the harassment is not a joke, that a lifestyle. Even in Courtroom, he the only one that act consistently. I say guilty on everything. That actually in all favor, they raise their hands. The jury has reached a unanimous vote. Glen Quagmire, please rise.
If they don't spin it, they don't get it, you know. But anyway. Freezing. You just said you were sweating. I know.
On the charges of harassment, stalking, unlawful residence, public decency, evasion, violation, assault, the jury find you guilty on all charges tied to cutaway, universe, murder. The jury finds you not guilty on non-canon bigotry. However, the canon crimes alone paint a clear picture. You are a danger to the community, your co-workers, anyone. Glen Quagmire. The court sentenced you to 25 years of Quahog State Prison for harassment, stalking, restraint, and assault. Permanent revocation of your pilot license. You will never fly commercially again. A mandatory behavior rehabilitation, supervised by Joe Swanson for 24 days, and a lifetime ban on all adult content. Efficiently, this court believe your punishment will reflect on not only your crime, but on one thing you fear most: a life where you can't indulge your impulses. May this sentence finally bring you peace to Quahog, and may you learn that giggly is not a legal defense. Court is adjourned. Trials of Character Glen Quagmire is over, and that concludes today's session of the Trials of Character. Another case closed. another universe held accountability, another character who finally faced the justice their own canon refused to give them. If you enjoy watching Glen Quagmire get the verdict he dodged for decades, then you already know what to do. Drop a comment with the next character you want to see, because step into the courtroom of heroes, villains, side characters, mascots. Nobody is safe in this series. If they got a pass, we will put them on trial. I'm William Prouty, aka Nexus. This has been Trials of Character. Thanks for watching, and as always, court is now adjourned. Nexus out.